Well, I think there's pieces. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I think the work we did in the Budget Committee was a pretty solid piece of work. I mean, it protected Social Security, had no benefit reductions for Medicare, protected our veterans, which is very important. I sit on the Veterans Committee. But it dealt with $4 trillion in reductions, $2 trillion in actual budget cuts, $2 trillion in issues of tax expenditures, some making sure that millionaires and billionaires pay what they were paying a decade ago in their interest or their tax rates, but also getting rid of a pile of these loopholes and tax shelters. Basically, I call them scams that people have built into the tax code over the last 20 years in order to take advantage and basically are making other people pay for them. So it's a combo and some tough calls. I mean, I sit on Armed Services Committee also. There's almost $800 billion over 10 years of reductions, just like the Debt Commission had recommended, a bipartisan effort. So it's a combo. I think there's strong pieces of that. Then you have the Gang of Six, which just came out yesterday, or kind of piddled out a little bit there, but it came out yesterday pretty solid. I think what I like about that is that there is a bipartisan effort finally, and it's generated on the Senate side at this point. I don't necessarily like all the pieces of it, to be very frank with you, but I think between that bipartisan effort, what the Budget Committee has done, and then there's some efforts on a balanced budget amendment that members are working on, that you probably can get a combo there. Can you do it before August 2nd? I don't think so. Can you build a framework that really details out how we're going to get there and also deal with the debt limit at the same time before August 2nd? I believe you can.
The numbers will be on your screen if you want to talk to our guest, Senator Mark Begich of Alaska, who joins us until 9:15. Discussions about the debt talks, 202-624-1111 for Democrats, 202-624-1115 for Republicans, 202-624-0760 for Independents. Journal@cspan.org is the email, and Twitter is CSpanWJ. Back to the Gang of Six proposal.
Sure.
What don't you like?
Well, I think it's not clear, for example, of how it deals with Social Security in the sense of what benefits that will be impacted. I think my goal has always been not to reduce the benefits for Social Security and Medicare. I think when you look at over time what's happened and the efforts by some who really dismantle those programs, I think is a big mistake. It is our safety net for our senior population. And Social Security is not just our senior population either. There's a wide range of people that receive Social Security benefits. And when in Alaska, for example, Social Security alone puts over $1 billion into our economy. It's a significant piece. And it's for people who have paid into it, they've earned it, and we should make sure their benefits that they anticipated in their planning of their retirement is still there. I do think that there's efforts still that could be done on the military side or the DoD side, Pentagon side, that can still be some additional cuts that I think that the Gang of Six was a light on, to be very frank with you. And on the revenue end, they don't deal with the millionaires and billionaires, and I honestly, I tell you, I don't get anyone calling me that's making in that category of resource and revenue calling me and saying, please keep reducing down my taxes. What they say to me is, the money I pay, make sure you're spending it the right way. And I can speak from being someone who's been in business for many years. What business people want to make sure is the customer that's coming in the door has more disposable income to spend in their store or their service company or whatever it might be. That's the real desire of business people that I talk to on a regular basis in Alaska. So I think there's pieces, but what I appreciate is that they're touching every end of it. In other words, revenues, tax expenditures, budget cuts, they're touching all with a bipartisan